Welcome back to another episode of the Wild Table. Today we're back at Tui Farms and we're gonna go for a hunt. There's goats and deer on offer. And today is a special episode as well because if the opportunity arises, Chessie might just shoot her first goat herself. Okay, so here we have the Hauer 2-3, which is what we used last time to hunt goat at the same place. It's a fairly inexpensive gun, which I really like because it's a great gun for beginner hunters. And what I really like about the 2-3, it's a caliber that has very little recoil when you're shooting. So for a beginner hunter who might be a little bit hesitant of squeezing the trigger and actually firing the first few shots and is sort of anticipating a big bang, the 2-3 is a nice safe caliber because it doesn't have that. Whereas like deer, I shoot with my 708, and the 708 has a fairly big kick, you know, so for a beginner hunter that could be a little bit off-putting. So I think it's really, really important that if you're going to get someone else behind the gun for the first time, try to give them a caliber that's not going to freak them out. I once scoped myself with the 708, meaning I actually hit myself in the head with the scope. It hurt a lot, it bled a lot, and if I hadn't been so keen on hunting, that might have just put me off. So without further ado, here's the blank target which Cheska has beautifully drawn up for us. We're going to go back there about 50 odd meters out and fire a few rounds.
Okay, I'm going to shoot now.
Open the bolt. Okay, and then leave it open, pull it back. Cool, and we're going to have a look. Leave it like that, leave it like that. Right, so here is the target. At the very bottom there is my first shot, which is a little bit lower because of the way I hold the gun. And then Chessie's two shots right here, bang and bang. If this was an animal, it'd be dead 100% of the time. Even if that shot was somewhere in that blue circle, it would be dead for sure. So long as we're aiming at the right spot and we're shooting like this, we're killing something cleanly. So I've drawn 3 separate targets on the goat, one behind the shoulder. I've given it a high neck shot and I've given it a head shot. Chessie's going to fire a few rounds at each one of those targets. We'll see how it goes. Reload. Open it up. Breathing. A little bit anyway. There's a full clip. Let's find those 2 shells. All right, let's go and have a look at this. Look at that. Dead, 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 for sure. Wow, there's some good shooting. And that's exactly what we want. It's just behind the shoulder here, into the vitals, or high neck shot, hitting the spine here. We're not gonna do this, but it's good for to have shot hits anyway. That there is a hole for my nail. That wasn't a shot. These are the shots. And that's dead as dodo. So I'm happy with that. Chessie, are you happy with that? Alright. Oh yeah. I reckon we're gonna go look for some goats now. So we're back in the same forest, just opposite Tui Farms. They've had a big goat culling here recently, so there's definitely going to be less animals around. But Kayla said that she saw a black goat just milling around in here, so fingers crossed. It'd actually be ideal if we found like a solitary animal that just was unaware and gave us the chance for Chessie to just get into the right position and take the right shot. It smells very goaty in here and there's fresh droppings, fresh-ish, so fingers crossed. I'm definitely hopeful, and if not, we'll go somewhere else. We've just spotted a small group of goats just on there. I think it's about 4 or 5 animals. So, Chessie, it's your turn. They're just grazing, totally unaware of the fact that we're here. So, we're just gonna take our time, get Chessie into position.
I'd rather be laying down because when I'm sitting up, I can feel my arm shaking a little bit. Laying down didn't help either. The steep drop and convoluted terrain kept the goats from view. Standing, my arms were shaking, and despite the perfect setup, I wasn't going to shoot until I was 100% sure it would be a clean shot. Phil makes this look so easy. My first shot was a miss, but that's okay. I'll continue my practice and hopefully it won't be too long before my next shot.
Well, that didn't pan out. We came across some goats and kind of got set up, and Chessie was trying to get comfortable and trying to shoot some goats, and like, it's hard as a new hunter. So it's hard when you haven't shot an animal before, and the terrain looks different from the shooting range where everything is flat and set out and you can just go for it. And, so we saw some goats, short story, we didn't shoot them, and they actually circled around and came super close, and I could have definitely shot them almost point blank, but that kind of didn't feel good to me, so I didn't take the shot. So yeah, I think we're gonna call it a day for today. But there's another piece of bush around the corner which is actually public land which we can hunt, and so I think we're just gonna go have a bit of a poke around in there in the morning. For now, I'm gonna go have a gin. Alrighty, welcome back. So this is day 2. Didn't get a goat yesterday, but today we're gonna try a different piece of bush. This is actually dockland, so it's public bush, and this whole region is full of goats. So I hope and I think that today we'll come onto the right animal. You just see the tracks all through this place. Like, you can see where they come out of the bush and crawl under the fence line and go into the farmland to feed. Just gotta beat your feet sometimes and find them, Thankfully, goats also tend to make a lot of noises. They give them away, so it just all makes it a bit easier. Goats, they always want to go up, steep. There's some fresh ass droppings right here from earlier today, still like glistening, so there's going to be some animals close to here somewhere. Goats are just grazers and they're fairly unaware, so they usually just slowly meander their way through a forest. So just having found this, so I'm pretty sure that we're going to find a goat pretty soon. I'm just going to slow down a little bit. But if you're going to take a new hunter, or if you are a new hunter, you need to understand that there are some positions that are better to shoot from. If you can lie down and have a clear field of view, awesome. In reality, that doesn't happen in the bush very often, so you need to find a way to stabilize yourself. So one of the best things to do is to find a tree and lean all your weight into the tree as much as you can. And from here, it gives you a really nice stable shooting platform. Most hunters will know this if you're seasoned and experienced. But if you're new to the game, that's something really, really important to understand. Stable shooting. So lean into a tree and fire from there. I just showed Chessie how to do that, so fingers crossed when I come across those goats, I know what to do. Steep enough. Well, these are only young'uns, but beautiful eating animals. Beautiful coats on them too. So quite happy to take these guys home. Chessie still hasn't gotten her first goat, but on the way out we may just see some more goats, who knows. Yeah, these are quite small, so it'll be super tender eating, but I'd also love to take a bigger animal home. Just a bit more meat. Yeah. Man, I wish they would make goats that like flat land. Right, gotta get these guys processed and out of here. I take a minute to study the animals I just harvested. A good habit to remind myself to keep. I like showing animals I hunt this moment of respect and gratitude. After all, it is not of malice or anger that I choose to hunt. On the contrary, it is the love for wild food, for natural human behavior, and for my ability to live free to some degree that I do this. This carry out is short and easy, making me appreciate things even more. The animals that grace my neck like a badass scarf are young and tender and will with certainty provide many, many beautiful meals for all of us, doggos included. Righto, so just another way to get the truck, carry the goats down the hill. Yeah, you know, it's only a couple of little ones, but you know, it's still meat for the freezer, and I just like hunting. I just like being out there and getting my own meat. And this area is overrun with wild goats. It's crazy. So the way I see it is, it'd be a lot better if more people hunted and, you know, got into the hills, did a little bit of exercise and pulled that wild meat out of the hills rather than all just bloody leaving it and then sending in professional hunters to cull them and shoot them and leave them. I mean, yeah, one thing that Kiwi hunters don't seem to understand is that goat meat is good meat, and it's actually very, very widely consumed. You know, in the Middle East, they love goat. Alrighty, so there was another successful weekend at Tui Farms. We came, did some work, went on several hunts, shot a couple of goats. Chessie still didn't get her first one, but we made a pretty good start, I think, on the target shooting, and she will for sure get her first goat soon enough. So that was pretty much this episode. The next episode is going to be what we're going to do with the meat, because we're going to start splitting up the hunting and the cooking side of things. So stay tuned for a delicious wild goat meal.
So we're just driving home, and I was going to be shared for the amount of missed opportunities that we had.
Do you know what it was? Just like, just an hold your breath. You gotta, like, when you pretend that something smells really bad, it just helps you to concentrate. I forgot to give you